I didn't ever have to take that.
Yeah.
They didn't have it when I went to school.
Okay.
I talked to my niece's school. She goes to a special academy because she has a learning disability, and they're saying it's required for her to take the SAT. I just don't. I'm like, she's not going to college. I mean, she's mentally handicapped. Why would she be? I don't know. I'm very frustrated with them right now.
What school district?
She goes to TC Harris Academy in Indiana. They have a special needs school in Indiana and Wisconsin. So she lives there full time, and they help her with her behavioral assessment as well as hopefully she'll be able to live independently. That's a long term goal. So we'll see. So Linda, David, tell us a little bit about your travels.
We traveled. We went to Fairfield Glade, which is outside of Crossville, Tennessee, and we had a nice visit there. And we had a little bit of car trouble, but we had rented a car. But as it turned out, we needed a rental car because ours wouldn't have been big enough for the 5 of us and luggage. So anyway, and then Sunny and Rajmi Sharma from Sugarland flew in, and my friend from North Carolina drove in. And then we went up into the Smoky Mountains. I saw a bear up in the tree, so I got a picture of that. There were actually 2 or 3 bears. I got a picture of one. And there's always a bear jam, they call it, where people take pictures. And it was rainy part of the time, cloudy. So we did the Klingman's Dome, which is a half a mile up. And
Oh wow!
they have little places to sit along the way, and then there's a dome thing, concrete, that you climb up on top, and you're supposed to be able to see North Carolina and all this, but it was cloudy and all that, and it was nice. The weather was basically nice. The day we wanted to do the Cades Cove, it was a Wednesday. They're closed to autos. It's only for hikers and bikers, so there won't be any cars. We went to the Pirates Voyage dinner show, which is part of the Dolly thing, and that was really good. And they have a trained seal that is out of this fantastic. His name is Salty, and but anyway, we did go up to, like I say, Klingman's Dome, and then Friday we left. Saturday night.
And it was her birthday. She left that out.
Yes, it was her birthday week.
Yes, it was my 80th. So.
Oh my goodness!
I thought 21.
Well, yeah, I've been there.
Congratulations.
I've been there a few times.
Oh, congratulations, Linda! I did not realize you were 80. I would say 70.
Well, you're
I had no clue.
That's
That's great.
And anyway, we made it, and it was a good trip. And now we're waiting for Bill Dindy and his wife and daughter to meet us in Williamsburg because another couple declined.
Oh, wow.
My wife can't drive that far. She fell asleep in the car driving last time. She was sleeping in the driving seat. We woke up when she hit the rumble thing.
Oh.
I had COVID, so I couldn't help her.
Oh yes.
So she got too tired and didn't stop, and she fell asleep.
So we're lucky to have you.
Wow.
So
I'm trying to get her to go, but
yeah. Well, it's that your reservation has been taken over, and they're coming in for 3 days, I think.
it'll be nice. It's great for the little one, for Larkin.
Yeah. Yeah, she's 13 now, I think.
Oh, so that's so little.
Yeah. And then in February, we go back to Orlando for the International Assembly. That's where all the governors-elect from around the world come to get trained, and the new theme. I think this may be the last year we have a theme.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But I hear they're still
anyway.
gonna do some.
Larkin entered.
Who?
Larkin. Lisa.
Oh. Well, hello, Miss Lisa. How are you?
Good. How are y'all tonight?
Doing very well.
We were just talking about y'all coming over to Virginia, maybe.
Yes, we're excited about it. I think that'll be great.
Yeah. And here comes somebody else, Charlotte.
Charlotte. Perfect.
Jack
All right.
had told me last night you would be on. Somebody else just.
Do I have everybody? I have Jerica, Linda, David, Chris, Howard, Lisa, and Charlotte. Anyone else?
That's all I've got.
Okay, perfect. Well, Mr. Howard, go ahead and record us and let's get us started.
I did when you told me. I rang the bell.
Here we go. Well, happy Tuesday, Rotary E Club of North Texas.
Yes.
I appreciate you coming. Today is Tuesday. I have to look at my calendar here. September 24th. We appreciate you joining and spending your Tuesday evening with us. I want to welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Daniel. He's here to speak with us about holistic healing. So we'll get to Mr. Daniel here shortly. Mr. David, can you lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance?
You'll join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Miss Linda, can you read our invocation for us?
As we gather here this evening as members of Rotary, we pray that we are ever mindful of opportunities to render our services to fellow citizens and to our community. Keep always in mind the enduring values of life, exerting our efforts to those areas and on those things upon which future generations can build with confidence and strive, and to go forth with the magic of Rotary.
Thank you, Miss Linda. Mr. Chris, will you read out our mission statement?
Yes, we provide service to others and promote integrity and advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through our fellowship of business, professional, and community leaders. Together, we will see a world where people unite, take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris. So this year we are celebrating the magic of Rotary. So each month we want to consider what can we do to share our message of service above self. The Rotarian theme for the month of September is basic education and literacy. Our club did donate over $500 in back to school supplies that is going to Cozumel and Costa Maya on the Rotary cruise in January. So if you guys did anything separate uniquely on your own, please message me and get that to me so we can get that logged in Rotary International and highlighted on our Facebook page. A special shout out, Miss Linda had a special birthday last week. We were talking about her travels before we kicked off tonight, so want to wish Miss Linda a happy birthday. And we also have some Rotarians celebrating years of service. Mr. David has 18 years of being a Rotarian, Mr. Howard 9 years, and Shiloh 3 years. So
Congratulations.
him to all those celebrating longevity with Rotary. Hold on, the dog wants outside.
Been in that long.
Yeah.
As a reminder, last call, you guys, District Cruise is coming up soon in January. Miss Lisa is on the line, just paid off Andy and I's ticket. We're going. It's really a lot of fun. You can do as little or as much Rotary as you want. We do have 2 service days, as I mentioned, in Costa Maya and in Cozumel, and then in, what's the other one? Roatan. It's a free day. You can do whatever you want. So you can join us during daily conferences or just hit the pool and play some bingo, whatever you guys like. But it's really a lot of fun and certainly encourage you guys to participate. Other upcoming events this Saturday, District 5810 is joining a walk for the cure for Alzheimer's. This is DG Ken DG spouse, Regina's spouse, Ken Edwards, charity of choice. His mother and grandmother both were victims of Alzheimer's. So, yes, you can use us. So please join us this Saturday. Miss Carlissa actually made a donation because she will be out of town, but I appreciate Miss Carlissa for making a donation to support our walk. Miss Linda, do you want to talk about the Envision white cane? You were featured on the front of the flyer.
Right, this was from 4 years ago when we walked there by City Hall. But the Lighthouse for the Blind, which is now Envision, once a year they have this celebration, and we have volunteers that lead the blind and visually impaired around a walk. And so that's going to be, like I said, October the 15th. If anybody's available to come on, you can register. Blake, I thought would be on, but anyway, David and I will be there. It's a lot of fun, and we've met so many people out at Envision, working with them and all that back when they were transitioning to their new building. So it's always great to go out there and visit them.
Perfect, thank you. We also have World Polio Day is Thursday, October the 24th. We will be having a special event in Salina with the Rotary Club of Preston Trails in Salina. With your help, we can end polio for good with 3 actions: learn, share, and donate. So if you're not able to make it to the event, it's $20 tickets. You get 2 pints of beer. There's going to be live music there, and the restaurant is also donating 10% of all their proceeds to end polio now. So our goal last year, I think we were able to donate $1,000. We rounded it up, so I hope we can do that again this year. So once again, that is on Thursday, October 24th. And then the next day, Friday, Miss Linda, talk to us about the Boys and Girls Club.
We will be having our annual Halloween party over there. It's about 50 kids, 1st through 3rd or 4th grade in the past. I hope that Chris can join us again.
I will.
I don't know about your son, but he's living too far away now. But we always have a good time there, and if anybody can be out there by about 2:30, 3 o'clock, and then it's over by about 5:30. But we have little trinkets for them, we have refreshments, and they have a good time.
Good annual service project to be a part of. Thank you. All right. Any other announcements this evening? All right. With that, I would like to introduce our speaker. Oh, nope, I forgot. Membership dues. Just a reminder, if you have any membership dues outstanding, please get those in to Miss Linda. I think she'll be doing last calls and debt collecting this month, because we want to get those all paid by October. And remember, we do need those dues in order to fund those projects like supporting the Boys and Girls Club Halloween event. Now our speaker. I Googled holistic healer, and this was the first image that came up, Mr. Daniel. So I didn't have a bio, but Mr. Howard, do you have a bio for Mr. Daniel that you can introduce him?
Yes. Daniel the healer is an intuitive, holistic energy healer. He studied metaphysics and spirituality for the past 45 years. He's an expert on your energy field, your reasons for being human, and how this whole thing called physical life unfolds here on planet Earth. He lives in Gainesville, Florida, which is very near me. I'm in Ocala. And he works with clients all over the world via a video connection. I didn't know you were so close to me. We need to talk. No further ado, Daniel the healer. Maybe he could heal us tonight. That would be even better.
Mr. Daniel, do you have a presentation? Would you like me to quit sharing?
No, I'm just going to talk. Appreciate being here. Thank you very much for the invite. It's interesting. Howard found me on a website where I say that I'm a speaker, and he booked me like what? In March, man. So yeah. It's been coming for a long time, but here I am, and the evening is finally here. However, you said that I was going to talk to you about holistic healing, which I can do as well, but my original idea of talking to you was about becoming spiritual, and is that okay?
You're the speaker. You can speak on whatever you want.
Oh, well, that's really cool. So then I'm going to promote myself first a little bit. Like everybody already I was announced, I'm Daniel the Healer. I'm a holistic intuitive energy healer. And I want to tell you what that is. When I say holistic, it means that I work with you on all levels of your existence. You exist in the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. More of you is in your spiritual body, in your energy field, than in the rest of you combined. And intuitive means that I receive my information beyond the regular five senses. So I get impressions. I have a whole slew of um, guardian angels. And if something comes up that I cannot figure out, then they whisper to me, and somehow I get that. I don't hear it with my ears, but I still hear it. So I use more than the regular five senses to receive my information. So I wanted to speak to you about becoming spiritual. And so uh, basically, I do not want to talk down on to you. So could you just maybe 2 or 3 sentences share what you think that is? Anyone, just turn on your mics and just tell me what you think it is.
I think of Christianity in my walk with Christ. I am a Christian.
Okay. Any other comments? What do you think spirituality is? Okay, then we basically have to start from the very beginning. So you obviously you all go to church on Sundays?
No,
Yes.
I do not go to church anymore, but I do believe in more the holistic universe of things happen the way they do just because of free will and the way the universe works. But I do believe that we get to heaven through Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior. Now, we are a non-political and non-religious affiliation. So I mean, some people may have other religious beliefs, Hindu or Muslim or Jewish, whatever. We respect anybody and everyone.
All right, well, what you said is really interesting. You see, you talked about that you follow Jesus, but you don't go to church. So you follow Jesus through your own inner connection. And that's what spirituality is, connecting with the divine through the inside, through not through the outside, through a minister, a priest, a rabbi, but or not according to a text, but that you connect with the divine through going into silence and having a conversation with the divine and coming to your own conclusion. Now, what why would you even do that? Well, there's several advantages to being spiritual. First of all, you gain freedom from the matrix. You see, when you're looking at our society and all the moral code and everything, you're in this matrix of behavior. But when you have a direct connection with the divine, then you don't need that external input. You know internally, you know in your heart what is good for you, what is good for your friends, your loved ones, your family, and your world. You become self-validating. That's really important because we are basically in a society where we are being raised through external validation. Good boy, good girl. Oh, he took his first step today. Hooray, hooray, hooray. And then we tends to give our power away to our environment. And by being self-validating, meaning that you become aware and find your own validation through your self-love, self-respect, self-worth, self-confidence, and self-esteem. You're not giving your power away in a sense that you behave in a certain way to please somebody else. You also become empowered, meaning that you manage to find your personal power. Now, there's two kinds of power. There's the power over, which most everywhere is. We tend to gravitate to the top of a pyramid. In a corporation, it's the CEO. In the government, it's the president. We tend to, but they have power over you. They can make laws. The police has power over you. But when you become self-empowered, then again, you're outside of the matrix and you can function. You get support, you get protection, you get belonging. You are in bliss. You become intuitive. You can even start to create your own reality. Reality comes at us. You get up in the morning, the phone rings, blah, 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 emergency, emergency. You can figure it out. When you have a connection with the divine, you can figure it out and you can create a life that is joyful, fun, filled with love, filled with abundance, filled with good health. All of these things spirituality allows you to have. You can have more magic in your life. Magic is those synchronicities when you're looking for something and it pops into your life, it pops into your world. You have more love. You're just at the fountain of love. You receive a tremendous, tremendous amount of love from the divine if you're willing to work with that, if you're willing to become spiritual. So you need to, if you today wanted to speak with God, and you stood in front of God, you'd be blown away because God is such an incredible, magnificent, enormous energy. There's so much light, it would just burn you up. So what you need to do is you need to figure out who the ambassadors of the divine are, the intermediaries. And the intermediaries are your soul, your higher self, and your spirit helpers. You see, you exist between when you're not physical. You exist in a non-physical, timeless energy form, which is your soul. That's who you are, your soul. And because you're in the timeless, you can't really have an agenda. It's really difficult to say, oh, tomorrow I'll do this, 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 and that, because there's no tomorrow. And so looking from our point of view, from time to time, you decide to become physical. And you do this because the physical is inside time-space. And you can have an agenda of what it is that you wish to achieve. And so you come, then there's other places. The earth is not the only place where you can become physical. So you grab a little bit of yourself. If you brought everything along with you, it'd be way too easy. Day 2, I'm done. No, you just take the minimum that is required for you to still have a unique identification, who you are as a being, as a human being a reflection of your soul. And you come here and you attach to this little body that your parents have prepared for you. And then you go along into your world and you have your experiences. But you set up everything before you come here. You set up who your parents are. You set up where and when you are born. You set up the major players, who your spouse is going to be, your siblings, if you have children, who those children are going to be. And you're all kind of helping each other out. It's like a play, helping each other. Everyone plays a role, helping each other, getting the experiences that you wish to have in this life. And so the thing is, because you come from the oneness, the eternal now, and you come through the veil of time space, which, by the way, is the fourth dimension. We live in 3D, depth, width, and height, and that cube rotates around in time space. And beyond that is timeless. And so you come into this reality, and because you cross, you forget who you are. So you set up basically the big steps in your life, you put on blinders, and you start running on the course. And then if there's an obstacle, you don't see it, you bump into the obstacle, you fall down, you pick yourself back up, and you continue. And if you kind of run into similar obstacles, then that becomes a pattern. And once you have a pattern, you can learn from that pattern. I started a really, really miserable life. I was born right after the war in Switzerland. We still were on food rations, like one egg a person a week. I was very weak. I barely made it. When I was 2, I got polio. I was paralyzed. I spent time in an iron lung. And then, fortunately, it wasn't permanent. I kind of had to learn again how to walk, how to move. And basically, by about age 3.5, was able to go out and interact with the other kids. But I was very weak. I was very uncoordinated, and I became a bully magnet. So everybody who wanted to prove to the rest of the crowd that they were the king of the hill and that they were better than me would come to me and just beat me up. And I simply did not understand that concept. I probably would say, because the child before me was stillborn, the doctor gave my mother a lot of hormone shots, and I probably got a little bit too much estrogen on the way. And I did not have this like macho testosterone, oh, I fight back and all that kind of stuff. So I just stood there and cried. And then everybody would laugh, and I'd feel humiliated. So I always felt at the very bottom of the totem pole, at school when you go to phys ed, and then everybody plays a game and two captains get created, and you captain, and then they each get to choose one. I was always chosen at the very last. So I really felt like at the bottom of the ladder, I felt inadequate, I felt in shame. And yet here I am now, 77. I have connection with the divine. I don't really meditate per se, but I go on a program of mindfulness. I go into the silence. I go internal, and I try to connect with my spirit helpers and with my higher self and with my soul. I found my purpose. I found my bliss. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I have a very, very loving wife. We have a beautiful relationship. I have good friends. I feel an enormous amount of love that is continuously bombarding me. I'm supported. My life is very magical. If I want to create something, it just appears to be, just like so. So I'm in bliss 24/7. So that's the basic idea of how it's going, what to do to become, well, not what the concept is of being spiritual and why you would do that. Because you see, you're in this world to experience something. Now, most of you are probably not connected to your soul, and connection with your soul becomes really important because then you understand why you came here. What is it that you wanted to do? For me, as an example, and that's why I told you a little bit of my background, I wanted to overcome shame. And when you want to go from darkness into light, unfortunately, you have to start in the darkness. It's like, oh no, I'm in the light. Oh, let's go into the darkness. I know where I'm going. No, you start in the darkness. And so I overcame all these handicaps with the help of my spirit team. So we see when you are in your soul state, your soul is not just some lonely energy form. Your soul has friends. And when you come here, the friends that you had as a soul become your spirit helpers, your guardian angels. They help you out, they work with you. Now, you're the boss of your life. We are in a free will universe. And because of that, you're the boss. You decide what you wish to do. You're in charge of your destiny. You're in charge of what it is that you wish to attain in this life. But then your helpers are here to support you. They're here to protect you. They're here to give you support. They're here to create synchronicities. Oh, I'm looking for a new job. Well, in technology, I'm looking for a new job in technology. 2 weeks later, you go to a party and you meet somebody new. And what do you do? Well, right now I'm unemployed, but I'm looking for a job in technology. Oh, isn't this funny? Because I'm a manager of a human resources in a technology company. Why don't you come and talk with me? This is a synchronicity that you meet, that you encounter that which you need to further your path. A very easy thing too is you can start practicing with that is to create parking spaces. When you go somewhere or I used to live in Los Angeles, and from time to time we had to go to San Diego, and that's basically 120 miles. And there's the 405 and the 5, and basically it's a 2-hour ride. But you never make it in 2 hours. Generally, it takes 4 hours because it's always totally stuck with other cars. Well, if I tell my spirit helpers, tomorrow I'm going to San Diego and would you please clear the road, then I'm in San Diego in 2 hours. There really is magic to be had when you connect with the divine. So basically, you do that by becoming intuitive, because the divine doesn't talk to you in English. Divine talks to you in energy, and it's your intuition that you need to use to translate that. So, how do you become intuitive? Well, intuition is a function of your third eye or the brow chakra. That's where your intuition lies. And so you basically become intuitive by challenging your intuitive capacity, even if you don't know, by querying. So I tell people, for instance, if you You travel to work every day, or some of you are retired, it's just an example. You travel to work every day. Well, in the morning, in your imagination, you propel yourself a mile above your house and you look around and you say, how's traffic? And then you get an impression, maybe you don't, and that's okay. Then you come back down and then you go and experience traffic. So anything that you do in your physical world, you can take a moment beforehand and wonder, how is that going to end up? How is this all going to be? What is going to happen? And initially, you may get absolutely no impressions, but after a while, by actually querying that particular aspect of yourself, you're going to get better and better and better. At this point, I was raised by a very left brain, mental, physical. Father was an electrical engineer. Um, and we never talked about emotions. We never talked about spirituality. I had absolutely no idea that anything else existed. And at 34, I had a really very extraordinary experience. And then I pursued this. And now I'm exceptionally intuitive. When I do my healing work, one of the things that I do is I'm a medical intuitive. I worked with people who went from doctor to doctor and nobody can figure out what's wrong with them. Well, sometimes this is where the holistic part comes in. Sometimes what's wrong with you is not really in the physical. And so being able to intuit what is going on is extremely helpful. So coming back to becoming spiritual, one of the things you do is you build up your intuition so that you actually can communicate with the divine. Secondly, you involve your spirit helpers. You involve them in your life. So, we get up, we do our day and breakfast, work, lunch, work, dinner, come home, watch TV, go to bed, plus all the other stuff that we do. But there's kind of ritual we have from morning to evening that we repeat. And so you involve them anytime that there's a challenge or that you have a request. You just talk to them in your mind. Hey, I would like to have help with this. You go for a job interview and you're like nervous up the wazoo. You may be blowing it, because I know people who have exam anxiety. They know their stuff really well, but they perform very poorly because they're under pressure. They're being watched. Uh, they're being graded. Well, just before going into the exam, you call upon your spirit team. You say, hey, I'm always doing so poorly during the exam. I would like to have some moral support. I would like you to give me the knowledge that all these people watching and grading me doesn't make any difference, that I can just be who I am and that I can actually put what I know onto paper. And they'll be there. They'll be with you. You will feel their presence and they will support you. They will protect you. Every time I go in my car, I put the car into a bubble of white light. I haven't had any accidents actually in 77 years. So it works, I know. Thirdly, you become mindful, meaning you start learning what happens in your head, in your mind. We all have this mind talk. And for some of us, the mind talk is negative. It is critical of who we are. And, you should have done this. You make a decision, and later on, oh, I should have done that instead. And it's critical, bad me. No, you're not allowed to have any negative mind talk. The other kind of mind talk is where you feel that you are defective. I'm never good enough. I always forget things. This it just doesn't work for me. I always blah, 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 blah. These things have to absolutely disappear. You have to be ruthless. The way to do this is if you have plans and you fall short of your plans, and in the evening you review your day, and I said, oh, and I promised so and so I would do this and I didn't get to it. Bad. No, no, bad me. No, what you do instead is you say, I forgive myself. You have to have absolute forgiveness for yourself. And then every morning you have a clean slate. You don't carry all the inadequacies with you anymore. See, you are divine. You are divine beings. You're made of the same stuff as everything else in our existence. You're made out of the light. The scientists are getting deeper and deeper into our atomic structure. They realized there was a nucleus, a electron, and a neutron, and a proton. And then they realized, oh wow, these have subatomic particles. And then they went into deeper subatomic particles. Now they're going so deep that they don't see it anymore. All there's left is light. Your cells in your body, of which you have about 50 to 100 trillion cells, have little tubes that go from one cell to another, like fiber optics. And cells talk to each other with light, like over fiber optics. You are made out of light, just like the divine God and Goddess are made out of light. Everything is made out of light, except that in 3D, we are so dense that this light has crystallized. So you need to realize that you are divine. The Bible says God is everything and everything is God. Well, aren't you part of everything? And we are all children of God. Well, what happens when the child grows up? And that now you don't grow up necessarily in one lifetime, but eventually you're spiritually so advanced that you know that you are divine. And when you know that you are divine, then life changes. It just is different. Plus, God knows everything. Well, everything that happens, it's an accumulation of the sum total of all experiences that ever have been had. Well, you, with your unique perspective, have experiences, and every experience adds to the sum total of the divine. So you're actually contributing to the whole with every experience, with every breath, with every glance, with everything. So once you realize that you're divine, that you actually become mindful, checking upon your inner mind talk and ruthlessly eliminating all the negative mind talk about yourself and forgiving yourself and finding silence. The meditation has a bad rap in the West, but it actually is very helpful. But you don't need to go into lotus position and hold certain hand position. You can just close your eyes, let yourself relax, let all the tensions go, and try to have silence. It's difficult. Turn off your mind talk. I challenge you. I can do it for about a minute now. That's ample. If you can do it 20 seconds that there's absolute silence in your head. You're totally ready to communicate with the divine, with your soul, your higher self. So finding the stillness is another way for you to become spiritual, because you then connect through the inside with the divine, and it will give you your moral code. It will fill you with love, and it will create a brilliant, brilliant life for you. All right. So I don't know how much time I have. I spoke about half an hour. Does anyone have any questions?
I'd like to make a comment. This is
Please
Linda.
do.
Okay. Uh, you mentioned you had polio when you were a small child.
Yes.
We just had a Rotarian passed away in March. He'd been in an iron lung for 72 years.
Oh my, he wasn't
He,
fortunate.
he was, he had his law degree. He went to the University of Texas, got his law degree, a business degree. And he taught himself, I guess that was divine, but he could breathe long enough, frog breathing, that he could be out of the iron lung for about 4 hours. And then he was too tired. But he was able to go to court, be all these things that he wanted to be. And it was great inspiration. And he really had that spirit. He was an artist. He could do anything. He put a pen in his mouth and he could draw a ruler type thing, and he could type on the keyboard. But he made use of everything that he was able to do to survive, and lived a really good life, and as an inspiration. And I
That
just
is,
want to make a comment about polio. This last couple of weeks, Rotarians and the United Health Organization went into Gaza, and they gave vaccine to over 552,000 kids, which is over 90%. And they plan to do it again in October to get their second. So we are really working to get polio eradicated. But right now, we have Pakistan and Afghanistan that have a total of 36 cases. Well, last year they only had 12. So we really have to, the polio is important to us. So it was interesting to hear that you also had polio. It was not confined to an iron lung for a very long time.
yeah, I only was 6 weeks in the iron
Yeah.
lung.
Yeah. And also you talk about healing, but my niece just had brain surgery where she's in a lot of pain. Is there anything mentally that they've got her on all these medications and everything for pain? What can she do to try to get it into her mind that she's okay? Or how was
She needs to start playing in her mind consistently, maybe half an hour a day, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening. A scenario where she's back in good health, whatever that takes. She needs to play this out in her mind. Our minds are extraordinarily powerful. It's unreal what you can do just with your mind. I just briefly said that we create our own reality. We do it with our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs, our attitudes, our choices and decisions. And so somewhere along the line, and she may not be spiritual, but she may, Jesus was a healer. If you believe in him, if you believe that you can get healed, she needs to have that belief. But once she has that belief with her mind, she needs to create an imaginary scenario where she is well. There's this fellow, Joe Dispenza, that goes around the country and does enormous 1,500, 2,000 people gatherings in hotels where people go to get healed. Well, he was supposedly never going to walk, and it took him 3 years. But vertebrae by vertebrae, he imagined that all these vertebrae would reconnect, that his spinal cord would reconnect, that they all would go into he had a heavy duty accident, that all this thing would go back into place. And with his imagination, moment by moment, movement by movement, he imagined himself to be well, and now he's fine and he teaches classes.
Thank you. Chris?
Yes.
Your microphone is off.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now.
All right. So, great presentation. I appreciate it. I only had 2 questions. Now, will spiritual be more agnostic, would you say?
Interesting.
No, you see, agnostic means you don't believe in a divine presence at all. Everything, if as spiritual, everything is divine.
Okay.
You are divine. That I look at you not just as another human, I look at you as a reflection of who you are as a soul and as a spirit, which is what motivates you. Soul is the feminine energy, spirit is the masculine energy, and they come together and they create life and movement.
Okay. My second question was, does divine connection intertwine with other people's lives?
Does the what connection?
Divine, I know you said it earlier, sorry. Your divine connection, does
Yes.
it intertwine with other people's lives?
Yes. You ultimately we're all one. Ultimately, we're all made of the same light. There is. Never mind. I'm going to pass on this comment.
Not a problem, but hey, I appreciate you for attempting to answer that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, we're all connected. We all. First of all, anybody you meet is a miracle. Even if you go to a party and you're all drunk, and when you meet someone and that's the only moment you ever talk to them, it's still a miracle. Secondly, everybody's, you all have this energy field. That's why I consider myself to be an energy healer, because I work in this energy field. And these energy fields interact with each other. When you talk to somebody, you met them, and within on some level, within 15 or 20 seconds, you know who they are. Well, this is because you have energy centers in your aura, which are called chakras, and they absorb the energies of that other person, because you send out vibes and they pick up your vibes and they know who you are. And so we are infinite. Yes, we have an aura which is about 2 feet above your head and 2 feet to your side, is like egg-shaped. But the space outside of your aura, which is called your ether, fills the whole universe. You know everything on some level. You're plugged into everything that happens in the universe. So we're all connected. Did that answer your question?
Yes, sir, it did. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, like I said, I don't know. Originally was set between 7 and 8. I don't know if you have closing statements.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Daniel. We really appreciate you coming and sharing your story with us and enlightening us. It's just been an interesting listen.
It's a different perspective.
Yeah, different perspective, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, I do want to say, I'm Daniel the Healer. I have a website, danielthehealer.com. I do private healings, but I also do public healings twice a week, on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So you'll have to adjust for Texas time. I do free online energy healings on a site called ihealyourpain.com. It's free. You can participate as many times as you want. Maybe you derive a benefit, then you come more often. Maybe it doesn't touch you, then you tried it once or twice and it didn't do anything for you, then you let it go. But it's free. It's on ihealyourpain.com.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing those resources. We appreciate it.
What day is that on your I heal your pain?
Wednesdays at 10 a.m.,
Oh, okay, that's those two. Okay,
Thursdays at 8 p.m.
okay, that's ihealyourpain.com. Okay. Thank you.
The first time you have to register, but once you register, it's free for as many times as you want to come.
Okay, thank you.
So we're in, obviously we're kind of going to close. We're in extraordinary turbulent times. I know some of you have gray hair, so you know 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago and everything had kind of a semblance of order. But we're currently in very turbulent times. The times are going to be even more turbulent. But you need to not let you affect you. You need to keep your resonance high. Surround yourself with light every day and go out and shine who you are, and you'll be fine.
There you go. I'll toast to that. That's nice, Daniel. Thank you.
You're most welcome. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Well,
Thank
with
you.
that, let's go ahead and close out with our four-way test. Mr. Chris, can you lead us in the four-way test?
Yes, I can. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And 5, will it be fun?
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming tonight. I appreciate you. And my goodness, October is here. Sunday last week was the first day of fall. So we are kicking off the fall season and getting close to year end. So thank you guys. We'll see you in a couple weeks.